They broke the glass. Everybody stay down. Get down.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, Congress reconvening to finish the counting of electoral college votes even after this happened.
And we are starting to dry things out this morning, but could we see sunshine returning? I'll have your Thursday forecast. It's all coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and thanks for waking up with us on this Thursday. I'm Monica Petrozelli. We certainly have a lot to get to today, so let's get straight to that forecast with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls. Good morning, Kristen.
Yeah, good morning. A few showers yesterday, but we're now starting to dry things out. Improvements are certainly expected for today. So let's get you started. A live look right now. This is from the Legend Skycam Network in downtown Yakima. Now, we have a little bit of some fog that has developed in the wake of some of the wet weather that we had overnight last night. You can see really clearing things out, especially around Yakima, Toppenish, and Tri-City. So we will see a little bit of some sun trying to peek through for today as well. But visibility still good to go in the Tri-Cities, but really reduced around the Prosser area this morning, and especially there along the eastern slopes. Ellensburg, you're less than about a half mile as you wake up early this morning. Temperatures, though, we're at 42 in the Tri-Cities with 40 in Walla Walla, down about 30 right now in Yakima, and then 34 for Ellensburg. So as you take you throughout your day today, we will have a partly sunny sky, so a little bit of some sun peeking through. 45 degrees at noon and a high temperature today of 48 degrees. But another rain chance to track as we head into part of that upcoming weekend. I'll have that full forecast, Monica. It's coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. Breaking overnight, it's official. Joe Biden will be the 46th president of the United States. The former vice president's victory was certified by Congress very early this morning, just hours after the House and Senate rejected objections to dismiss Biden's electoral votes from states including Arizona and Pennsylvania. Following the announcement, President Trump, for the first time, publicly acknowledging that he would leave office on January 20th, pledging an orderly transfer of power. In a statement, he wrote, quote, "Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I have always said we would continue our fight to ensure that only legal votes were counted. While this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history, it's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again," end quote. And all this comes after pro-Trump rioters broke into the U.S. Capitol yesterday as lawmakers were debating. Huge crowds of protesters moved in, making their way past guards and barricades and into the Capitol building itself.
They broke the glass. Everybody stay down. Get down.
Representative Pramila Jayapal was sitting in the balcony as people broke through glass panels and the doors to try to get in. She tweeted, "The Capitol Police barricaded the doors and eventually told everyone that they had to leave in a hurry." Now, Richland native and former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis has directly blamed President Trump for the security breach at the U.S. Capitol, which he labeled, quote, "an effort to subjugate American democracy by mob rule." Mattis was among the former top Pentagon officials who served under Trump, including former Defense Secretary Mark Esper and retired General Joseph Dunford, who also blamed political leaders spreading misinformation as setting the groundwork for the violence at the Capitol. Washington Representative Kim Schreier tweeting yesterday that she was safe but very worried about the state of our country and thankful to Capitol Police. And Washington Senator Patty Murray sending out a tweet condemning what she called hate-fueled violence unfolding in the Capitol. Late last night, she also put out a statement calling for the immediate removal of President Trump from office under the 25th Amendment. Representative Dan Newhouse sending a similar message saying this is not who we are and it needs to stop immediately. We were able to hear from him as he waited in a secure location.
Violence of any kind in order to try to affect change or how policy is driven in this country is absolutely unacceptable. I think it's counterproductive to the goals that they're advocating, and I will not tolerate, nor should anybody tolerate, the use of violence in this country.
Newhouse went on to say he's grateful for law enforcement who worked to protect them. And the Secret Service is ramping up security at the White House, the Naval Observatory, and Secret Service headquarters following the riots. 4 people have been confirmed dead, and D.C. police say they arrested at least 52 people. Back here locally in the Tri-Cities, over 1,000 Tri-City families have signed up to receive a free bag of books this month. It's called Resolution Read. The program, started by nonprofit organization Children's Reading Foundation of Mid-Columbia, encourages families and their children to read for 20 minutes a day. You can sign up online until the end of January, and a bag with 12 books will be dropped off at your door.
And our mission is to be able to challenge parents to read 20 minutes every day with their children. With schools basically closed, with libraries providing limited resources, this is a great way, an incredible opportunity for us to meet our mission.
Organizers say they received over 80,000 books this holiday season, and they plan to do something special each month on the 20th to remind families to read together. I just love this, Kristen, because especially right now, reading is such a good way to kind of escape.
And you
relax.
Get that quality bonding with your kids as well. And
absolutely.
It's just a great learning experience for them.
Win-win all around. All right, let's take a quick break here in Good Morning Northwest. But first, let's take that live look outside.
And we're finally drying out early this morning. A little bit of some fog settling in, but tracking another round of wet weather that could impact part of the upcoming weekend. Your full forecast is coming up.
Plus, a handful of people have had allergic reactions to the COVID vaccine. Why health officials say you don't need to be worried, though. We'll be right back. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is identifying more than 50 U.S. cases of the coronavirus variant first discovered in the U.K. CDC officials say the variant appears to spread more easily, but there's no evidence that it's more deadly or causes more severe disease. But new CDC data says at least 52 cases have now been found in the U.S., including 26 in California and 22 in Florida. Other cases of the variant were found in Colorado, Georgia, and New York. The CDC says the numbers don't represent the total numbers of cases in the U.S., but only those that have been found so far. And the CDC says it has seen 29 cases of severe allergic reactions to coronavirus vaccines. A new report looked at the first week and a half of the vaccine rollout when 1.9 million people got their first dose. The CDC says all the severe reactions happened within minutes, but all the patients they followed up with have recovered. 17 of them had a history of allergies, but officials say people with general allergies shouldn't be concerned. They may want to consult a healthcare provider before getting their shots. However, CDC officials say the reactions from COVID vaccines are still rare. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, 2 Yakima police officers are recovering after being hit by a car outside Walmart. We're learning more about what led up to that incident. Welcome back, everyone. 2 Yakima police officers are recovering after being hit by a car Tuesday afternoon outside the Walmart on Chestnut Avenue in Yakima. They've been identified as Sergeants Mike Henney and Mark Groh. That happened after earlier this week someone assaulted a Wapato man and stole his truck. Then later, witnesses spotted the truck in the Walmart parking lot and called police. Officers surrounded the vehicle, but the driver took off and ran over officers in the process.
There was at least 1 shot fired. That was by the police. No indication that the suspects fired a weapon. There's also no indication that anybody was struck by gunfire. The suspects then fled the scene, officers in pursuit.
The truck crashed a little over 4 miles away near Rosa Hill Drive and Warrior Road in Terrace Heights. The 43-year-old driver was arrested for assault, possession of a stolen vehicle, and eluding police. The passenger was questioned and released. The incident is being investigated by the Yakima Valley Special Investigations Unit due to the shot being fired by an officer. In Kennewick, police say a dangerous new drug that can be 5,000 times more powerful than heroin has shown up in the Tri-Cities. Take a look at this. That's the haul police found in a car yesterday after Kennewick officers say they caught people doing drugs in a hotel room. Now, police say they found around 1,000 pills that they suspect are carfentanil. That's yet another man-made opioid drug, which is more potent than fentanyl. Quick thinking from Senate staffers likely saved the Electoral College ballots yesterday. Senator Jeff Merkley tweeted a photo of the boxes during the Capitol riot, saying they were safely removed from the Senate floor. He said if they weren't grabbed in time, quote, they would have been burned by the mob. The Capitol is now secure and Congress convened to certify the 2020 presidential election early this morning. Vice President Mike Pence apparently played a key role in sending the National Guard to help stop yesterday's violence on Capitol Hill. A source says President Trump initially resisted sending in Guard members, but Pence went ahead to coordinate the deployment with the Pentagon to speed things up. A statement by Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller even suggests that Pence gave the final go-ahead. And several of President Trump's top aides are considering resigning after yesterday's riot. Multiple sources saying one of the aides thinking of leaving his post is National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien. Earlier yesterday, O'Brien defended Vice President Mike Pence for his courage to refuse to do President Trump's bidding and certified the election. But before certification could happen, a group of Trump supporters breached the Capitol building, and the president is being lambasted by members of his own party for egging on his supporters and then justifying the riot. Deputy National Security Advisor Matt Pottinger resigned yesterday evening, and Deputy Chief of Staff Chris Liddell is also considering resigning.
Now, KapKView First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. Waking up this morning, we're going to see some drier conditions around the area. The rainfall is finally moving out, and we're going to see those improvements out there early this morning. So a live look right now. This is from Richland's Columbia Point. We're expecting the sunrise time to take place today at 7:38. Sunset at 4:28. Just checking when we'll finally see the sunset just after 5 o'clock at the end of this month. We will start to see those the time right around just after 5 o'clock for that sunset. But today we're looking at a little bit of some morning fog. After the fog burns off, we will see some sunshine returning throughout the day today, which will be nice. But we are looking at visibilities reduced early this morning. Not too bad right now in the Tri-Cities, but down to about 5 miles in Hermiston, less than about a half mile in the Prosser area. And then Ellensburg also looking at some reduced visibilities this morning, less than a half mile for you as well. But temperatures for the most part are above freezing in many spots. 42 in the Tri-Cities, 40 degrees in Walla Walla, with 44 in Hermiston. Where we're below freezing, of course, Yakima, 30 degrees. And then Ellensburg sitting in at 34 degrees. So there goes the wet weather. We had a few showers left over the last couple of hours for Walla Walla and portions of the foothills. A little bit of some snow that is left over as well for the northern blues. But that winter weather advisory has been canceled, really clearing things out. So again, once the sun comes up this morning, we should have a beautiful day ahead for us. High pressure system that's in place for the Pacific Northwest today, but we're going to see more wet weather tracking in here as we start that upcoming weekend. So here's Futurecast, taking you throughout to Thursday. Overall, just pretty quiet. We'll have some sunshine and clouds out there for today. Now, overnight still going to be dry, but that next round of wet weather arriving for your Friday morning commute. Heavier downpours around the Tri-Cities, a little bit of a wintry mix over into the Yakima and the Kittitas Valley. Clearing out for the second half of the day. We might see a stray shower, but overall those improvements expected for your Friday afternoon, and then some sunshine and clouds for your Saturday. So a beautiful start, at least to the upcoming weekend, before more clouds start to build back in here for your Sunday. So there are your numbers, what we can expect for this afternoon, with 45 in Yakima, 44 degrees in Toppenish, upper 40s, Tri-Cities, Hermiston into Prosser, Connell today at 44, and then those upper 40s as well for Walla Walla and also for Pendleton. Tonight we will see just a dry night, otherwise just a mostly cloudy sky. We'll see temperatures tonight dropping down to about 36 in the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla, and mid-30s for Yakima. So there's your 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Again, looking ahead to your weekend, partly sunny on Saturday, slight chance for maybe a stray shower early on Sunday, otherwise just mostly cloudy, close to about 40 degrees. More wet weather next week, Monday afternoon, and then on and off throughout your day on Tuesday, but numbers starting to go back up close to 50 degrees on Wednesday. And your 7-day for Yakima should be a beautiful day on Saturday, partly sunny, just a bit chilly at 39. Stray shower on Sunday, and then more wet weather expected by Monday into Tuesday of next week.
Thank you, Kristen. At 5:20, we're going to take a quick break here in Good Morning Northwest. But coming up next, how drugstore chains are pitching in to help with the huge undertaking of vaccinating millions of Americans. Welcome back as the clock turns to 5:24. Drugstore chains are helping administer coronavirus vaccinations in nursing facilities. CVS is administering the vaccines in nursing facilities in 49 states. in nearly 31,000 assisted living facilities. It expects to complete giving the first of 2 doses by January 25th. And Walgreens has also partnered with the federal government to give shots at long-term care facilities across the U.S. Currently, COVID-19 vaccines aren't publicly available at CVS or other pharmacies, but CVS says they will eventually be available at all of their stores throughout the United States. Carnival Cruise Lines and Princess Cruises are beginning the new year with no stops in the U.S. The cruise companies have suspended all of their sailings from U.S. ports until at least spring. Princess Cruises hopes to pick back up again after May 14th. Its European trips are also on hold for now, and Carnival has canceled its schedule in U.S. waters through March 31st. The cruise industry has been at a standstill since the start of the pandemic. Well, Arizona's Grand Canyon has met its match, and it's not even on this planet. NASA releasing this photo of a canyon on Mars, the largest canyon in our solar system. Now, to give you some perspective, Kristen, it stretches over 2,500 miles across the planet's equator and is 7 miles deep. And according to NASA, if that was on Earth, this valley would span from New York City to San Francisco. Jeez. Scientists at the University of Arizona took it with a special camera called HiRISE, the most powerful camera ever sent to another planet.
Yeah, you really wouldn't know that looking at this picture.
I know. You really can't capture it in a picture, no matter how powerful your camera is.
Not at all. It'd be one of those pictures where you ask somebody, where do you think this picture is from? You know, probably say Antarctica or somewhere in the cold regions of our planet, but not,
sure enough,
not out of this world.
All right, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, chaos and violence at the Capitol as mobs of President Trump supporters stormed Congress, forcing lawmakers to evacuate. Plus, hear how some local leaders are reacting to Governor Inslee's new reopening plan.
And as we give you a live look, the wet weather has moved out. Will we see that sun returning today? I'll have a look at your forecast. It's all coming up.
Today was no debate of ideas. It was a juvenile and attempted dangerous intimidation.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, Governor Jay Inslee addressing the state following a riot at Capitol Hill, protesters breaking through the gates of his mansion in Olympia.
And the rain is out of here, but will we see sun returning for your Thursday? I'll have that forecast. It's coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Monica Petrozelli. We saw a bit of a wet Wednesday yesterday. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls about what is in store for today.
And we should see a little sun trying to peek out throughout the day today once the sun comes up this morning. But yeah, safe bet to leave the umbrella at home. No more rain is expected today. So let's get you out the door with that live look from downtown Yakima, or this is from Richland's Columbia Point. We are seeing, again, a more clear sky. The clouds are clearing out, so we're expecting kind of a beautiful day ahead for us. There is a little bit of some fog that has developed in the wake of some of the rainfall, but looking pretty quiet there on the radar and satellite. Close to 10 miles in the Tri-Cities, but where we have some reduced visibilities, including Prosser along the eastern slopes there. In Ellensburg, you're less than about a half mile early this morning. But those temperatures were coming in at 42 in the Tri-Cities with 40 for Walla Walla. 35 in Toppenish, and below freezing right now for Yakima. You're sitting in at 30 degrees. So as we take a look ahead to your Thursday forecast, we'll have that partly sunny sky, 45 degrees at noon, 48 by later on this afternoon. I am tracking, though, another round of wet weather on the way. Will it impact your weekend? Your full forecast. It's all coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. The United States Capitol was put on lockdown as mobs of President Trump supporters stormed Congress yesterday, temporarily thwarting lawmakers' counting of the Electoral College votes. Whitney Wild reports from D.C.
Pro-President Trump rioters breaching the halls of Congress.
They've essentially overtaken the front of the Capitol. This is an overwhelming number of people for the Capitol Police.
Triggering an armed standoff at the doors of the House floor. Protesters caught on camera taking the seat of the President of the Senate.
We've been hearing flashbangs every few minutes for the last hour.
Protesters have penetrated the Capitol. Tear gas has been deployed. Members now have masks
that are in the Capitol.
Vice President Mike Pence rushed out of the Capitol building to safety. The entire House and Senate floors evacuated and lawmakers told to shelter in place.
This is despicable. This is not who we are as a country.
President Trump encouraged the protesters earlier Wednesday.
Right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
And later responded to the breach of the Capitol.
You have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order.
And a stunning development in D.C. following yesterday's violence on Capitol Hill. According to a Republican source, some of President Trump's own cabinet members discussing invoking the 25th Amendment to remove him from office. The source saying the discussions are preliminary and it's unclear how many members would support that. The 25th Amendment allows for removing a president if he's unable to fulfill the duties of his office due to mental or physical illness. But it can only be used if the vice president and a majority of the cabinet agree. Meanwhile, in Washington, there were protests on Capitol grounds in Oregon and Washington as well. Trump supporters breaking through a gate at Washington Governor Inslee's mansion yesterday afternoon, and dozens of people gathering on the lawn.
Evaluate, as I said, the situation, how it occurred, and how we can do better in the future. So we will, of course, look into how we responded and any way we can do better.
Washington State Patrol troopers were in charge of security and say the Trump supporters broke through the fence and stormed the grounds, banging on the governor's door. The crowd was cleared from the mansion after about 30 minutes. WSP says the governor and his family are safe. And Governor Inslee addressed the state regarding the events at the mansion and the U.S. Capitol. Here's some of what he had to say.
Those acts of intimidation will not succeed in any way, shape, or form. We will continue the work we're doing to protect the health of Washingtonians. In our nation's capital, Congress will follow the will of the American people and take yet another step along the long march to protecting people's rights of self-government that has so far succeeded through frequent moments of tension in our nation's history.
If you want to listen to the governor's address in full, we do have that up on our website, yaktrynews.com. In Pasco, dozens of protesters gathered last night at the Liquor Control Board office for what they called a peaceful protest tea party. A tea party, of course, symbolizing their resistance against the government shutdowns. Some even pouring out alcohol into the street. One protester there told us he just wants to support local businesses.
We just want to support them and their families. There's a lot of families that have lost their jobs, and it's not right.
The group says they wanted the protest to remain peaceful, waving flags and signs on the side of the street. The Washington Department of Health unveiled the next step in its vaccination plan yesterday. It's called Phase 1B.
So Phase 1B includes four tiers of vaccine prioritization. Tier 1 includes 2 groups, all people age 70 and older, and people age 50 and older who live in multi-generational households. Tier 2 includes high-risk critical workers age 50 and older who work in congregate settings. So that means agricultural, food processing, grocery stores, K-12 schools, and so teachers and staff who are back in the classroom.
The state has also created an online tool called Phase Finder, so you can check and see if and when you qualify for the vaccine. We have more information about that on our website, yaktrynews.com. And Governor Inslee announced the new map to reopening this week, and frustration has already been building up. Kittitas County commissioners issued a statement saying they object to the new plan. One commissioner saying the plan undermines the work the county has done to limit the spread of the virus.
The people have no voice right now in how their futures are being charted, and they've got to get that back.
Under the Healthy Washington Reopening Initiative, many businesses in Kittitas County aren't able to reopen until the entire South Central region enters Phase 2. Umatilla County, Oregon is holding drive-through vaccination clinics this week. They're still in Phase 1, but countywide almost 900 people have gotten their first dose of the vaccine. Statewide in Oregon, around 55,000 people have started the vaccination process. It's now time to raise the flag here on Good Morning Northwest with the Pledge of Allegiance.
With schools pretty much closed, we still honor the flag each morning. So please send a photo or video of your child doing the Pledge of Allegiance to pledge@capkvu.com, and we'll share it with viewers.
At Archibald's, we believe it's important to keep the traditions that have made our country great. We're proud to support Raise the Flag.
Welcome back. A travel update at 5:40. Anyone trying to fly to Canada will now be required to show a negative COVID-19 test taken no more than 72 hours beforehand. The country's transportation minister says passengers won't be allowed to board planes bound for Canada without one.
This new interim order will provide an additional layer of protection for Canadians and travelers. Many other existing measures were already in place for air travel to Canada.
One of those measures is a 14-day quarantine upon entering Canada, and that rule does still remain in place even after a negative COVID test result is shown. The new testing requirement doesn't allow for rapid tests. Only results from a PCR test will be accepted, and travelers from certain countries in the Caribbean and South America can use results up to 96 hours old due to difficulties obtaining tests in those areas. But that exemption expires January 14th. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a milestone in the effort to clean up the Hanford nuclear site. We're taking an in-depth look next.
Now, KapKVU First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
Well, happy Thursday. We're finally going to be back to some drier conditions out there today. Safe bet to leave the umbrella at home. We will see a little sunshine returning for today as well, but a little bit of some fog that has popped up across our area. Visibility, at least in the downtown Yakima, so far good to go between 9 to 10 miles. But what we have in store for us today, sunrise time taking place at 7:38, sunset today at 4:28, of course, gaining those hours of daylight. Going to get closer to that sunset after 5 o'clock by the end of this month, and especially throughout February. Starting off early this morning with a little bit of some morning fog and then some sunshine. Again, it's going to certainly be nice to have some of that sun back with us on this Thursday. Visibility so far good around the Tri-Cities at 10 miles. Walla Walla down to about 8, even Pendleton, your visibility down to 4 miles this morning, and then less than a half mile for Prosser, Ellensburg, and then especially through the eastern slopes of the Cascades. That's where you might see reduced visibilities as well. But temperatures were at 42 in the Tri-Cities, now down to about 39 in Connell with 40 degrees in Walla Walla. 34 for Cle Elum and Ellensburg, and then we have one spot below freezing. That is Yakima. You're down to 30 degrees this morning. So as we get you over to the radar and satellite, again, those rain showers have been clearing out. A few snow showers left over through the northern blues, but that winter weather advisory, it has been canceled, has expired. We're going to be back to some clear conditions, as you can see on the radar and satellite. So as that sun comes up, we should see a beautiful day in store for us today. But as we give you a closer look with Futurecast, we will have more rain showers possibly impacting us as we start off your upcoming weekend. So there's a look at your timestamp, 4 o'clock this afternoon. We will have a mixture of some sunshine and clouds. Early tomorrow morning, the wet weather will be coming down. A few pockets of some heavier downpours even expected for that commute to work. Slight chance for a wintry mix around the Yakima and the Kittitas Valley. This weather will be quickly out of here by the second half of the day. Can't rule out a stray shower, but overall we should be drying out for your Friday afternoon. And then a beautiful day is in store for us on Saturday, starting off the day with a lot of sunshine, more clouds, maybe a slight chance for a stray shower as we head into the day on Sunday. So there's your forecast for this afternoon, climbing up to 45 for Yakima with 41 degrees in Ellensburg, 44 in Connell with 48 Tri-Cities, and then 47 degrees over into Prosser. Mid-40s for Dayton, and 49 for Walla Walla and Pendleton. So we are expecting that dry night, just more clouds tonight as those temperatures fall through the mid to upper 30s. So there's your 7-day forecast. We'll have that morning rain shower tomorrow. Dry start on Saturday, a little bit chilly at 40 degrees. Maybe a stray shower, more clouds on Sunday, and then more on and off rain showers, especially by Monday afternoon into Tuesday, with those temperatures going back up. 50 degrees on Wednesday. And your 7-day forecast for Yakima, slight chance for that morning mix tomorrow. Otherwise, a dry start Saturday, partly sunny with a high of 39. Mostly cloudy, slight chance for a stray shower Sunday in the upper 30s.
Thank you, Kristen. Well, 2 Yakima police officers are recovering after being hit by a car Tuesday afternoon outside the Walmart on Chestnut Avenue in Yakima. They've been identified as Sergeants Mike Henney and Mark Groh. It happened after earlier this week someone assaulted a Wapato man and allegedly stole his truck. Then later, witnesses spotted that truck in the Walmart parking lot and called police. Officers surrounded the vehicle, but the suspect took off and ran over the officers.
There was at least 1 shot fired. That was by the police. No indication that the suspect fired a weapon. There's also no indication that anybody was struck by gunfire. The suspects then fled the scene, officers in pursuit.
The truck crashed a little over 4 miles away near Rosa Hill Drive and Warrior Road in Terrace Heights. The 43-year-old driver was arrested for assault, possession of a stolen vehicle, and eluding police. The passenger was questioned and released. The incident is being investigated by the Yakima Valley Special Investigations Unit due to the shot being fired by an officer. Well, Kennewick police say a dangerous new drug that can be 5,000 times more powerful than heroin has shown up in the Tri-Cities. Take a look at this. That's the haul police found in a car yesterday after Kennewick officers say they caught people doing drugs in a hotel room. Now, police say they found around 1,000 pills that they suspect are carfentanil. That's yet another man-made opioid drug, which is more potent than fentanyl. Big news regarding the VIT plants at the Hanford site. They announced construction on the low-activity waste facility is complete. Officials are calling this a step in the right direction to fulfill moral obligations of cleaning up. KVU's Madeline Hagan has the story.
A milestone reached for the Hanford vitrification plant.
We have completed construction of the low-activity waste facility, the analytical laboratory, the effluent management facility, and 14 support structures.
We can and we will finish the race.
Officials held a virtual opening today, congratulating the hard work of contractors over the decades who made this progress possible. They also played pre-recorded messages from state figures like Senator Maria Cantwell.
This has been 18 years in the making, and it took over 2.3 million craft hours to build. With this building completed and the coming efforts of the next 2 years, we are one step closer to processing 90% of the waste that is stored in underground tanks at Hanford.
The next big step, starting up the first melter to begin melting down waste into glass for storage.
I look forward with optimism to the bright and prosperous future that together we can build in the new year and beyond.
Now that the construction for the low-activity waste facility is complete, Brian Vance says they'll move into the commission phase to start treating it.
I'm confident that the teamwork and commitment to excellence that has made today possible will continue to ensure the progress as we go forward.
Throughout the meeting, officials reiterated how proud they are to have made this accomplishment during a pandemic. They say while restrictions continue to affect them, they still hope to have that first melter up and running by the end of this year. And we're bringing you a live view from the U.S. Capitol after going into lockdown following yesterday's violent riots. We're bringing you the latest when we return. Welcome back at 5:54. American Airlines says it will not be serving alcohol on its flights to and from Washington, D.C. The airline made the announcement yesterday after they say flight attendants reported, quote, politically motivated aggression towards other passengers and crew. American Airlines also plans to increase staffing at airports in the D.C. area. It says the policy change is a precautionary measure amid unrest at the Capitol. Well, drugstore chains are helping administer coronavirus vaccinations in nursing facilities. CVS is administering the vaccines in nursing facilities in 49 states in nearly 31,000 assisted living facilities. It's expected to complete giving the first of 2 doses by January 25th. Walgreens has also partnered with the federal government to give shots at long-term care facilities across the U.S. Currently, COVID-19 vaccines aren't publicly available at CVS pharmacy locations, but the company says they will eventually be available at all of their stores throughout the U.S. Carnival Cruise Lines and Princess Cruises are beginning the new year with no stops in the U.S. The cruise companies have suspended all of their sailings from U.S. ports until at least spring. Princess Cruises hopes to pick back up again after May 14th. Its European trips are also on pause for now. And Carnival has canceled its schedule in U.S. waters through March 31st. The cruise industry has been at a standstill since the pandemic started.
All right, at 5:55, let's get you to that close to home forecast. The wet weather has moved out. We're looking at some of those improvements out there today. So you can see temperatures. We're looking at highs in the upper 40s later on this afternoon. A little bit of some sun also peeking out as well. 48 for Benton City, 46 in Basin City, and then Burbank this afternoon jumping up to about 48. Maybe a stray morning shower still left over along the foothills of the Blues, but overall just staying mostly cloudy for you today. 48 in Pilot Rock, Hermiston up to 49, Waitsburg at 47, Milton Freewater jumping up to about 49 degrees. And a little bit of some morning fog early in the day. Otherwise, a little bit of some sunshine peeking out before more clouds build back in. 45 for Sunnyside, Zilla today at 44. Natchez jumping up to about 43. Should be a pretty quiet day overall after some patchy morning fog. 45 in Vantage, Ellensburg at 41, and then upper 30s for Cle Elum.
Well, get this, Jeff Bezos gave a Mother's Day gift a little early this year. He named a 600-foot rocket recovery boat after his mom, Jacqueline. He posted a video on Instagram of her christening the boat with champagne. The ship is for his space company, Blue Origin. It'll be put in the Atlantic Ocean so that his rocket called New Glenn can land on a platform. The rockets are set to start launching from Kennedy Space Center later this year if all goes to plan.
And I'm sure she is such a proud mom.
I mean, I don't think she ever could have seen this coming as a present.
No, not at all.
Definitely original.
Yes.
All right, coming up next, look at the chaos as mobs of President Trump supporters stormed Congress, forcing lawmakers to evacuate. Plus, senior officials are reportedly discussing trying to remove Trump from office under the 25th Amendment. Good Morning Northwest continues right now.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and happy Thursday, everyone, and thanks for starting it with us. I'm Monica Petruzzelli. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls. And Kristen, wet day yesterday, but not so much today?
Nope, you can leave the umbrella at home today. It should be a dry day, a little bit of some sun even peeking out. I think overall, gorgeous days in store for us. So let's get you started. The sun hasn't come up just yet, usually sunrise time right now just after 7:30 in the morning, but we are looking at some clear conditions right now for the Yakima area. A little bit of some fog that has settled in place after some of that wet weather has moved on through, but could really see quite the difference that we have out there compared to what we had out there yesterday evening with some heavier downpours. So you'll see visibilities are down to less than a half mile for Prosser, especially there along the eastern slopes in Ellensburg. That's where we're seeing some reduced visibilities as well. Temperatures, though, we're still in the 40s across the majority of our area, with Tri-City sitting in the low 40s. Walla Walla early this morning at 41, 44 for Hermiston. And we're actually now down to 29 degrees in Yakima, so one of our cold spots around the area. So partly sunny sky today. 48 by later on this afternoon, but another rain chance is not too far away. Will it impact your weekend? I'll have that forecast, Monica. It's all coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. The United States Capitol was put on lockdown as mobs of President Trump supporters stormed Congress yesterday, temporarily thwarting lawmakers' counting of the Electoral College votes. Whitney Wild reports from D.C.
Pro-President Trump rioters breaching the halls of Congress.
They've essentially overtaken the front of the Capitol. This is an overwhelming number of people for the Capitol Police.
Triggering an armed standoff at the doors of the House floor. Protesters caught on camera taking the seat of the President of the Senate.
We've been hearing flashbangs every few minutes for the last